Hello again and welcome. Today's video is going to be a hollow form or a closed form, and it's going to be made out of this piece of laburnum that was very kindly given to me a few years ago now by my friend Mick Stratton, and it's 4 1/4 by 4 inches and it's just on 7.5 inches tall. Now when I do a hollow form I always start out with the thought of having a narrow opening, which is always good practice, and if you get a little catch on there you just make the opening wider. That's why I don't make the finial and the finial base until I finish the hollow form itself. The finial is going to be made out of a hardwood which I'm going to ebonize with ebonizing spray and finish off with a spray gloss lacquer, and I'm calling it faux ebony because it'll look like ebony for all intents and purposes, but it'll be a lot cheaper, and if you mess up you can always do another one. And I like to use close grain woods, and I'm going to be using something like Meranti or teak or something. An old window frame hardwood is ideal, close grained, and takes a finish nicely too. Before I go into the video, I'd like to give a shout out to a friend of mine over the ether called Huw Davies. And Huw Davies, he comes from South Wales, a fellow countryman. He hasn't got a YouTube channel, but he has a Facebook page and indeed a website, and he sells his goods, and it's Wouldn't It Be Nice. What a great name for a company, if you like. And Huw has sent me a sticker which will go on the wall behind, and I'll put the relevant details to Huw's social media in the description below. Without further ado, let's get turning this hollow form with a faux ebony finial. So that's the hollow form finished. A little bit of texture there where the grain is so brittle, but I still like it. It is what it is, as I keep saying, with certain bits of wood, and this is relevant to this piece. But a nice finish. All that remains to do now is to part him off and do the finial. Okay, for the finial now, I've got between centres a piece of hardwood. It's a piece off the countertop that I was given by Gouge Joiner a while ago. It's a hardwood. It's either Meranti, teak, mahogany, something of that ilk, which takes a good finish. And it's about just under 2 inches square and just over 3 inches long. I'm going to turn it down to round, put a tenon on it, put it into my cylinder jaws, my easy wood cylinder jaws, and turn the finial. Now, a good idea now, bearing in mind we're going to be painting it essentially, is to get rid of any dust in the pores, etc. And you can use DNA, or as we call it here in the UK, methylated spirits. Just turn that on nice and slow. And you can see how much is coming off here, which leads me to recommend viewing a video recently put up by my good friend William Hunt on his techniques of finishing. It's an excellent in-depth tutorial of the way he gets his lovely finishes, so I'll urge you to go across there and have a look at that. Excellent. So I'll put a link in the description below to William's video. Okay, so that's got most of it off. Now the next thing is to apply sanding sealer. Cellular sanding sealer, and this is the pre-mixed 50/50 from Hampshire Sheen, which I've been using for quite a while now. Saves me mixing my own. And the thing is, with a thin down sanding sealer, it goes deeper into the grain. Sometimes it's necessary to maybe apply 2 coats. But that doesn't really matter, does it? Because at the end of the day, we just want to get a good base for the finish. But all that is explained also in William's video. Okay. Now, because I'm spraying, what I'll most probably do is let that dry, put another coat on, and then we'll start the ebonizing process. So the sanding sealer has now dried. So I've got my ebonising lacquer, and you hold the can approximately 25-30 centimetres away from the piece. I like to do it with the lathe on as slow as it'll go on this range, which is about 140. So do a little spray, cover up your chuck as well, and just light coats to begin with. And let that dry, just keep it revolving, let that dry and build up until you get a finish you're happy with. Then let that completely dry and then finish off with acrylic gloss lacquer spray as well. So I'll come back to you when that's done. Well, that's in finished. The finial fits nicely in there. I would normally glue that in, but to be honest with you, I'm not sure that I'm over the moon with the actual shape, the actual piece. I like the shape. It's come out rather well. I enjoyed the hollowing, but there's all this brittle area here, and there's lots of little what I would term pock marks on it. So I've actually gone around and filled some of them in with black, but I'll be honest with you, I'm not 100% happy with it, but I'm happy with the fit. I won't glue it on because I might do something with the piece or use that finial on something else. Don't forget to pop across to William Hunt's channel and watch his excellent video on his finishing techniques, and I'll put links in the description below to his channel. Thanks very much indeed for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you very soon. Cheers now.